Hey everybody, Mike here, and as I said during my trailer reaction, there were a lot of things that I wanted to talk about in this trailer. There were a lot of hidden things for fans, some things you might not have picked up on, and I'm going to dissect all of those in this video. And I have to say, after watching the trailer quite a few times now, it's really starting to grow on me to the point where I think this might actually be a very good movie. But in this video, we're going to do not a shot-by-shot breakdown, but pretty much a shot-by-shot breakdown. We're going to look at all of the things that you might have missed in the trailer. So the first thing I want to talk about is that you'll notice throughout this trailer, Megatron already has that Decepticon insignia on his shoulder. So what does that mean exactly? Well, in a lot of Transformers media, Megatron is basically inspired by Megatronus, who is otherwise known as the Fallen, and you'll actually see later in this trailer that he comes across this either shrine or it's kind of hard to tell what it is, but it has this giant Decepticon logo, and Megatron's kind of looking at it with a bit of sadness. So you might see throughout this movie that Megatron's heart is kind of with the Decepticons, whatever they were at this point in the story. We don't even know what the Decepticons really are at this point. But he does show some appreciation for the Decepticons, and I think that's going to slowly progress into him leading the Decepticons, maybe by the end of the movie, or if not, by the end of the movie, he will basically become Megatron and will just start the Decepticons. Also, at the beginning of this trailer, we see a Transformer that is punishing Optimus, who is Orion Pax, and Megatron, who is D16 at the time. And there is some speculation about if this is based off of a Transformer or from the past, or if this is a new character that just shows up for 2 seconds. I've seen speculation that this could be Darkwing, which is a possibility. I think there is a big chance this is just an unnamed Transformer. But if you want to call the Transformer Darkwing, I'm assuming he probably won't be named during the movie, so you could probably go ahead and do that. Next, we seem to get what appears to be a flash forward of Optimus Prime, probably at the very end of the movie. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was the last shot, kind of like how The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had that giant scene with Rhino as a shot in the trailer, and then ended up being the very last shot of the movie. So I could see that being with Optimus Prime here, kind of, oh, he gets the Matrix of Leadership, he becomes Optimus Prime, roll credits. Or this could be before some kind of climactic battle where Optimus Prime gets the Matrix of Leadership and does something cool with it. But notably, the Matrix of Leadership is in Optimus Prime's chest at this point. So it'll be cool to see him be a full-fledged Prime at some point during this movie. Next up, we see a quick glimpse at a sign that says Iacon 5000. Iacon is notably the Autobot capital city in most Transformers media. And what is funny here is that Iacon is written in English while everything else seems to be in Cybertronian. But I guess it's just kind of to show to the audience that yes, this is Iacon and not some Cybertronian gibberish. But the Iacon 5000 seems to be some sort of a race or a triathlon, and this is evident because a little bit later we see Optimus or Orion and Megatron with jetpacks on some type of highway with a bunch of other Transformers, and I'm assuming they won't be able to transform at this point, so they use the jetpacks to be a part of the race. After that, we see the Autobots on some kind of train, and then as they fall off, we have these spikes just coming out of the ground, and we see these spikes coming out in an upcoming shot as well when they're just nicely riding on top of a train, and we kind of see it growing in the background. I do not know what these spikes are. I was assuming maybe it was some type of like dark energon effect, but it's not purple, so I don't think so. I don't know what this could be. If you have any theories, I'd be glad to hear them in the comment section down below. And speaking of these giant things coming out of the ground, it is notable that Cybertron does have organic matter. So there are multiple instances where we see grass or foliage most notably in the shot where Optimus Prime or I keep saying Optimus Prime, it's really Orion Pax and D16 are hiding in some bushes. It's very interesting to see that on Cybertron, which is usually made mostly of metals. We did see something similar in Transformers The Last Knight, when it also had organic matter on Cybertron when Cybertron was being taken to Earth by Quintessa. And once the Transformers enter this cave where they end up meeting Alpha Trion, we see what appears to be a lot of potentially dead Transformers, and one of them actually kind of looks like Sentinel Prime, who we see at a different part in the trailer. He kind of has the same color scheme and these types of wings on his back. And I don't think this is actually Sentinel here, but I think that is potentially maybe more of a reused model. Kind of hard to tell, but it doesn't look exactly like Sentinel, so I don't think that's him. And also, it seems like this Transformer has been there for a very long time. But the similarity is interesting, maybe another Prime. And then, of course, when we do see Alpha Trion, he gives the Transformers their T-Cogs, which make them transform. T-Cogs have been something in Transformers media where that creates their ability to transform. Without the T-Cog, they are unable to. So he gives them T-Cogs, and they become full-fledged Transformers. And when he does so, notably Megatron gets his classic fusion cannon. Not exactly, but it's pretty darn close to the typical design. Something I really find interesting about the trailer are these drone Transformers that really resemble the Viacons, otherwise known as Steve, in Transformers Prime. As a big Transformers Prime fan, that is really cool to me. I always really like those designs of the Viacons, so to see them kind of return with those types of designs is super cool. Absolutely love that. And since we're talking about Transformers Prime, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in the trailer, and I'm going to talk about Arachnid. And Arachnid was a super cool, deadly character in Transformers Prime. Very motive-driven, very out for herself, and it's going to be really interesting to see how she plays into the story of Transformers 1. I was quite shocked when I saw her in the trailer. That was probably my biggest reaction when I was watching it, because I was not expecting that at all. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to utilize her. Now, when the Transformers begin to transform for the first time, we're able to get a look at their vehicle modes. Elita 1, Optimus, and Bumblebee are practically what you would expect from them, but Megatron, with his different alt modes that depend on the type of media that he's in, he is confirmed to be a tank, as we get a quick glimpse of him after transforming down the hill. So Megatron is a tank. Now, as far as the villains of this movie, it looks like it's going to be the Quintessons. It's not exactly the look that you're used to for the Quintessons, but they do have kind of the tentacles. It just doesn't appear to be that they are all connected as a bunch of different faces on one body. It looks like they're going to be separate, and they also have these soldiers who you see lined up once one of the Quintessons gets out of their spaceship to confront Sentinel Prime. And yes, as we talked a little bit earlier, we do have Sentinel Prime, who is confirmed to be, it is confirmed to be Sentinel Prime. That will be his name in the movie. We've not seen Sentinel Prime, I believe, in quite a bit in Transformers media. I want to say the last time we've seen him in new Transformers media is Dark of the Moon. Correct me if I'm wrong. I did not look that up, but it has been a while. Also, he does kind of have similar vibes to his design from Transformers Animated and from Transformers War for Cybertron. And you're probably thinking, well, Mike, that wasn't Sentinel Prime in Transformers War for Cybertron, that was Zeta Prime. Well, that's the confusing thing about Zeta Prime in War for Cybertron. They called him Zeta Prime in the game, but I believe in a lot of the tie-in novels and comics, he was also known as Sentinel Prime, and Hasbro has officially came out and said that his full name is Sentinel Zeta Prime to cover their tracks. There must have been something along the way where they decided to change the name at some point or another, so they're like, screw it, we'll just call him Sentinel Zeta Prime. but the design, except for the face, of course, the face looks a lot younger in Transformers 1, but the color scheme looks pretty exact to what we see in the War for Cybertron video game. And then for some blink and you'll miss it things, we do see Soundwave, Starscream, and Shockwave all together, notably no Decepticon insignias on them, and as you look behind Starscream, you will see his usual throne, which he loves to have. He loves to have that throne. I'm surprised he didn't have a crown, to be quite honest. Maybe he does at some point. Maybe it's like in some type of glass case in the background somewhere. That would be a cool little nod. But yeah, Starscream trying to be some kind of leader. I don't know if this is him trying to start the Decepticons or just some type of uprising against something, but Starscream is definitely wants to be the head honcho here. Also, in one of the next upcoming shots, we see a quick glimpse at what is most likely Skywarp, a purple Seeker. Very blink and you'll miss it. I say it's Skywarp because that's what he would look like, but obviously not confirmed, but it looks like this is most likely going to be him, or, you know, who knows, maybe it's just some random purple Seeker, but I'm going to put my money on it being Skywarp, and I hope it's Skywarp because I think Skywarp's pretty cool. And then finally, the last thing I want to point out is that this transformation at the very end of the trailer, where Bumblebee and Orion Pax, and I guess you can call him maybe Optimus at this point, transform, is that this transformation is almost exact to what we see from Dead End in the War for Cybertron video game. It is pretty cool to see. I always love that transformation. Very cool. Kind of does a little spin move. I love the War for Cybertron video game and Fall of Cybertron 2 as well. So to kind of see some design elements kind of make its way into this movie, as well as some stuff from Transformers Prime as well, which I also love. Super cool to see. And that's about all the things that I noticed in this trailer. Did you notice anything else? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments section down below. Maybe I'll make another video looking at some other things that you guys can point out for me. So make sure to do that and follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and X. And until next time, I'm Mike. See you guys.